Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Dax, you're not, I'm not Clay, and I hope you're not Clay either. Or at least if we are, we're just molding our own clay and nobody else is molding it for us, just like with Sweet Grace. So I'm going to do this reaction on Clay, and I'm going to do the bio intro on her, and then the song. By the way, I have furrows right here today because I just finished a work day, so I have little plow furrows in my head. I'm not mad. I've just been thinking all day. So anyway, Clay astounds me. The song astounds me. The way she sings it, the words, everything. I think for me, it's a natural progression in this early period of Grace. She doesn't know her name, but then she knows her name. She finds her identity. And then her identity is shared with another identity, her sister, in Beautiful Thing. So she's branching out. And then she's a star in the sky, and she and her sister and others light the sky with their identities. And then Clay is about keeping her identity among other people's identities, and including those who don't want her to be Grace. They don't want her to be successful. The Germans have a word for that. It's called Schadenfreude. It's the enjoyment of other people's failure. And I think that's a great word. It's typical German, adding a bunch of syllables and words together, but it's perfect. But Grace isn't going to have it. She's not Clay. So I love this song because it sort of, to me, it rounds out her personality and her amazing stalwart personality. So we better get going on this, and then we will, I'll talk about the high points in the song and how she conveys the song. And then I'll talk about her lyrics, in which she goes from the second person. She starts out in the second person personal, talking to herself, allowing us in, going to the second person, talking about the girl, then going to the first person, I'm not Clay. So that's extraordinary. And it's the usual Grace catches you by surprise moments, but I'll talk about that more in a little bit. So let's watch this.
Welcome back. This is America's Got Talent, the finals. We are live from Hollywood. 10 acts came to this famous theater tonight hoping to win $1 million, and we've got just one more act to see. She's a singer, a songwriter, and a ukulele player, and she's still only 12 years old. From Suffern, New York, she is Grace Vanderwaal.
This is I Don't Know My Name by Grace Vanderwaal. I absolutely love you, Grace. Oh wait, you're not gonna watch this. I don't know my name.
I don't play by the rules of the game.
I started writing because I was really bored. It was kind of fun, so I just kept with it. Words that came from me and my heart.
You are my sister's friend.
I wrote I Don't Know My Name just in my room, and now people are singing it all over the world.
You asked me why I cut my hair and changed myself completely.
I try not to think about it too much because I don't want to get myself too freaked out.
I'm lost, trying to get.
When I auditioned, I would never think that I would make it to the finals.
I'm just trying to show.
And it's just like a dream.
I now know my name.
I could possibly win this. Like, I'm getting far.
I don't play by the rules at the game.
Tonight, I'm going to be singing words that came from my heart. Hopefully, they're enough to win America's Got Talent.
To find my way.
Absolutely gorgeous setting here. And Grace and her slender figure, along with the slender things coming down, purple and pink with the lights in the background. I mean, it's a moving photography, moving cinematography. And so here we go.
You see a girl in the hallway, and then you whisper to your friend, who is she anyway? You forgot what she looks like in like a day, but your words don't hurt me. I will be okay, 'cause you don't hurt me. I won't do your silly words. I won't live inside your world, 'cause your punches and your names, all your jokes and stupid games, they don't work. They don't hurt. Watch them just go right through me, because they mean nothing to me. Try to change my shape, but baby, I'm not ready. Sorry, not today. 'Cause baby, I'm not trying to change my shape, but baby, I'm not ready. Sorry, not today. 'Cause baby, I'm not clay. Your silly words. I won't live inside your world, 'cause your punches and your names, all your jokes and stupid games, they don't work. No, they don't hurt. Watch them just go right through me, because they mean nothing to me. I'm not clay.
Okay. That's just so moving. I hardly have words. She just puts so much into a song. The way she speeds up and slows down, and her voice is soft, and then it just, it means nothing to me. I mean, it's just, now I see why others have been like speechless. I know I've mentioned it before, but her vulnerability mixed with the confidence is I think kind of what gets me. It's just like I just want to kind of hug her, and yet no, she doesn't really need hugging. I mean, she just has it. She is in complete control. And I like how she starts it out with, you know, she says, and then you whisper to your friend. And in that beginning, she is kind of whispering. You see a girl in the hallway. You could barely understand what she's saying. And then you whisper to your friend, who is she anyway? It's very sort of a low cadence, low volume. And then it's like, you forgot what she looks like in just a day. So you believe her, you know, when she says that. But, you know, it kind of starts out serious, and then it goes into that, and her voice does that too. And, you know, your words won't hurt me, don't hurt me, I will be okay. Of course I like it when she says, when she sings out loudly, I'm not clay. But that's not even my favorite part of the song. I'm not even sure I have a favorite part of the song. It's just she can move you through the song, and you're just like mesmerized by her beauty. And when I say that, I don't mean a classic runway model beauty. It's the expressive beauty. You know, like what's her name from the Supremes had. Not a runway model, just beauty that has charisma and this shining light that's coming out. And it is truly mesmerizing to watch Grace. I mean, not that she doesn't have beauty, obviously she does. Okay, so I want to, as I've done before, get into the lyrics because I really think that's the prime point. That's the most talent with Grace, even though her singing is just extraordinary. And I think with Clay, I think what she's got is an anthem song. It's an anthem for living life. You're either going to be Clay or you're not going to be Clay to others. You can only be Clay to yourself. We have to mold ourselves, mold to, as she says, and I'll get to that in a minute. It's a brilliant phrase. So we've always got, I mean, all of us have been through it. All of us have been Clay. And I'm sure Grace at some point was a little bit of Clay herself, a little bit of putty. Maybe in her, in her mom's eyes or in the teacher's eyes or whatever. Now she's got the whole world watching her, wanting her to be a certain way or another. Oh, Grace, you don't sound like you used to. That's somebody trying to mold the clay. And, she's just got to be herself, and she stays herself. But first, I want to talk about just the title itself. Grace keeps things so simple in her titles. I don't know my name. Perfect. Beautiful thing. She doesn't say a beautiful thing. She doesn't say the beautiful thing. She just says beautiful thing. And it gets your mind racing. What does she mean by beautiful thing? And also the way she calls her sister a thing. That's Grace's sort of separation writing that she does. You're a beautiful thing. And I love that about her. But with Clay, and light the sky, of course. It's not a light in the sky, as I've said before, the lights in the sky, or we're going to light the sky. Light the sky. Bam. And again, I'm like, whoa, what does she mean by, oh, damn, that's really good. But with Clay, she could, this could easily be, the title of this could easily be, I'm not Clay. My anthem is, I'm not Clay. But it's not. It just says Clay. And of course, that's your vision. That's your image, Clay. What does she mean? What is she going to say? And any great writer will tell you, create a little bit of mystery. So this is called Clay. I read a few comments by people going, why doesn't she say, I'm not Clay? Way back, a couple of years ago. And I'm like, because that's not Grace. That's not the way she wants to do it. She's a great writer. Clay. She doesn't use too many words. Another great thing I love about her. So it's a simple title. And it's not defensive. It doesn't come across as defensive. I'm not Clay, or defiant. I'm not Clay. It's okay for her to say I'm not Clay later on after she establishes context. Then you're like, okay, I'm not Clay. Okay, but the way she starts this out, go into the writing a little bit now. She goes, you see a girl in the hallway, and she's talking to herself in the second person personal. You, Grace, see a girl in the hallway. She's telling us, she's letting us in on her introspection. You see a girl in the hallway, and then you whisper to your friend, who is she anyway? All of this is inside Grace's head, just talking to herself. Then, of course, she's still talking to herself. You forgot what she looks like in like a day. And I like that, 2 likes. You forgot what she looks like in like a day. It's very breezy and very modern. But then she switches from the second person personal talking to herself to talking to the girl just like that. And it kind of catches you off guard. She goes, but your words don't hurt me. Now she's talking to the girl. I suppose it's a girl. Usually is. I will be okay. Now it's the first person. So she's jumped from second person personal, second person objective, to first person. And that's, I'm not sure I've ever seen that done. Maybe it has by Dylan and a few others, but I just don't recall that. That's really impressive how she does that, and it kind of catches you. First time I heard that, I'm just like, wow. And then, of course, she goes, because you don't hurt me, I won't mold to. She doesn't say I won't mold to you. She's not, I'm just going to assume it's a girl she's talking to. She's not giving this girl even the benefit of a you. She is keeping it completely dismissive and impersonal. I won't mold to. That's so confident. And I'm not sure Grace knows what she was doing when she wrote that, because so many of us writers write stuff sort of emotionally and spontaneously, and it is what we're feeling. But a lot of times you don't know why you said it unless you go back and think about it. But she goes, I won't mold to. And the first time I heard it, it was another one of those times where I was kind of caught off guard. Wasn't sure I heard it right. Wasn't sure the you was so silently spoken that I just didn't hear it. That's brilliant. That's brilliant writing. And it gets across her confidence and defiance, really. And I like her pace. You know, your silly words, I won't live inside your world, because your punches and your names, all your jokes and stupid games, they don't work. No, they don't hurt. And then she slows up and kind of I mean, she was hurt. We all get hurt when we're clay. And she was, I suspect, a little bit of clay to write this. Something hurt her. And then she thought about it. She got her confidence back. I now know my name. I like the sky. You won't hurt me. And no, they don't hurt. Watch them just go right through me because they mean nothing to me. I love how that nothing just glides out there, and the other person is nothing. They mean nothing to me. I'm not clay. Just, again, she doesn't say, I'm not clay. That sounds silly, right? She said, I'm not clay. Bam! Oh, that's really powerful. And then I like how she kind of goes back into it again. And this is the full lyrics. She wasn't able, obviously, to do the full lyrics on the show. I think like a minute and a half or whatever it is, unfortunately. And I like how she gets introspective later in the song. Trying to tear her down was your first mistake. Again, second person personal, talking to herself. And this is where she's learning not to be clay, not to respond to negativity, to schadenfreude. Don't respond to it. Dismiss it. Yeah, deal with it, but dismiss it. And she does it in such a gorgeous way as usual. Trying to tear her down was your first mistake. Another thing I like about this is Grace is evaluating herself. And not only is she evaluating herself, she's letting us know that she made a mistake. How many artists do that? Such honesty. Because little do you know, she wasn't built to break. That's a brilliant line. She wasn't built to break. Some people have such a wall up. They're so pretentious. They're so dishonest. They're so trying to form the clay in the rest of us that they themselves can't break because they're not emotional and introspective and honest. So there is no breaking. Whereas people like Grace and maybe you and I, we can break. We are open to other people. We allow ourselves to be open. And yeah, maybe we'll get hurt as Grace got hurt. But then you get through it. And then Grace, after she says it was her first mistake, then she evaluates. And she says, oh, but you weren't built to break, were you? Grace, this is part of Grace. This honest introspection, honest delivery, and then this evaluation that she puts down into print in such gorgeous words. I think that's, there's one more thing I want to talk about. And I mentioned it, I think, two videos ago. Anyway, she says later, but baby, I'm not clay. So again, Grace is saying this to a girl who can't break. She's calling her baby. And frankly, I've never heard a teenager or a preteen, I've never heard to them refer, maybe a late teenager, to another person as baby, because it's either condescending or it's directly. It's emotional. It's a confiding type of thing. It's with somebody who's a friend. Hey, baby, what's going on? You know. But Grace does this because of her, I think, where her brain is at, where her mind is at. This ability to analyze things and be on top, eventually get on top of something. And now she refers to the girl as baby. But baby, I'm not Clay. Sorry, not today. And then, of course, that beautiful ending. I'm not Clay. Doesn't drag it out, just says it. And again, that's her integrity. So I think that's it on Clay. I'm going to do more of Grace's songs, as I've said, some live stuff as well. I may even do some just audio. I don't know about that, but I might. But there are just so many. And I'm going to do other artists as well. But I wanted to start with Grace. One reason I wanted to start with Grace is the first person I was listening to who moved me so much. And I saw the reactions to her that I finally decided I wanted to do reactions. It took me 3 years to finally get around to it. But I hope to speed it up. But Grace deserved to win this competition without a doubt. Hands down, just so far, exponentially above everybody else with her genius talent. And yeah, so that's Grace and that's Clay. And I hope to see y'all again soon. Take care. Bye.